All right, guys. Decent game. Pretty much what I expected, along the lines of what I expected from this Huskies team. 43-10, and honestly, their last touchdown and our last touchdown were both complete garbage time. So really, it was more like 36-3, meaningfully. So this game, there are a couple really good developments from this one, I think. And there were a couple of big disappointments as well. And that's how you end up with a result like this where you're favored by 33 and a half points going into the game, and then you win by 33. It kind of ends up exactly where the odds makers said it was going to. So let's talk about some of the good things today. Penix, I thought Penix played really, really well. I don't know if the interception was his fault or not. That could have been a situation where the receiver just didn't get to the ball. That's what it kind of looked like to me, but maybe he just threw the wrong route. I don't know exactly who that's on, but given the fact that he was not getting helped by his receivers at all today and still threw for 400 yards, I was pretty impressed. I thought Penix played solid football. He ran for a couple of productive carries as well, used his legs a little bit. The Tulsa defense obviously is nothing to brag about. The Tulsa defense has problems. They're not great, but I thought Penix did pretty much everything he could. Like half of his incompletions were drops. So for my money, Michael Penix had a great game. I'm impressed with this defense for the most part. I think the defense played pretty good today. The run defense had issues. The run defense isn't ideal, and admittedly, that's concerning as we go into some of these games against these teams that are going to be able to run the ball better than Tulsa, but they never really let it hurt them. They only allowed 10 points, and 7 of those points were in garbage time. So I can't even really get worried about that element of it because over and over again, we came up with the stops when we needed to. I thought our secondary played really well. There were a couple of lapses in coverage. There were a couple of bad plays, but we got the interception. We had some pass breakups. We had good play all around from the secondary, I felt like. So those are the things that stand out. I like the play calling. I like the fact that we used a lot of creativity in this game, especially because there were certain things on the offense that weren't working. So one thing I will say is this offense did a really good job of trying to find creative solutions to allow themselves to run the ball, like running those end arounds. We were very productive on end arounds today. We ran a couple of other trick plays, so awesome stuff there. So definitely some good stuff in those areas. The stuff from this game that's not so good, obviously, I think the big thing has to be the receivers. This is a team that is supposed to be, their strength is supposed to be their receivers. Their receivers are supposed to be the reason why they're so great, them and Penix. And today, both of our top receivers were awful. And the numbers are going to tell you they were good, but do not drink the Kool-Aid on those numbers. Odunze had 2 big drops, where it didn't even look like he was trying to catch the ball, like he just slapped the ball away. So there was that. You also had the play where I think he may have left Penix out to dry on the interception. I don't know about that one, but it certainly could be argued. And McMillan, who started the game out really good, and that's one thing that kind of threw me a little bit. This offense actually came out blazing hot with those 2 early touchdowns, and then things kind of fell off a little bit because receivers were dropping the ball. McMillan dropped an easy touchdown, and then like 2 plays later, sorry about that, by the way, I got a dog up there freaking out. And then 2 plays later, he fumbles on a play where it's not like the ball even gets punched out. He just kind of gets poked out, and then he loses control, and we lose our opportunity to score points right before the end of the half. And McMillan did make good plays in this game, don't get me wrong. So did Odunze. I'm not here to say they were all bad, but the only receiver that played consistently in this game really was Jalin Polk, our number 3 guy. So I was disappointed in that element of it. This had the opportunity to be like a 56-point game again, like last week, and the receivers really looked very lackadaisical and, I'm sorry to say, kind of sleepwalking out there. So didn't love what I saw from those guys And those guys are supposed to be some of the best players on the team. So I understand that it's a focus thing. It's a mindset thing. Like the way they drop those passes, that's just a matter of execution. That's not a matter of you being physically unable to go catch a pass. That's not a matter of you not being talented enough to go get that ball. It's just a matter of focus. So hopefully we play a better teams in the future and they don't let that happen. I understand today's Tulsa, you can mess around like that and you can still win. But at the same time, I look at a game like this as an opportunity for these guys to put up monster numbers, and I don't know why they wouldn't want to do that. So the receivers were, I think, the big letdown from this game for me. The other thing would probably be the running game. The inside running game, the traditional running plays, very, very spotty against this Tulsa defense that you really should have been able to impose your will on. So after this game, my conclusion kind of is we just can't really run the ball normally on anyone. So I don't know if that can get fixed or not. Obviously, you're going to start playing better teams next week. Michigan State's not that good, but they're better than Tulsa. They're better than Boise State, I think, anyway. So I don't know what's going to happen to this running game. We just cannot run the ball reliably up the middle. It gets stuffed. The interior offensive line gets pushed back, or they blow their assignment. Just one thing or another. It's kind of like watching the Seahawks, but this is worse. We're playing Tulsa. We should be able to impose our will on them. We can't at all. We have to come up with these end-around trick plays in order to run the ball successfully. So that part of it, not exactly something that I was proud of from this game. Again, you're playing Tulsa. And our run defense, I mean, it ended up kind of working out okay, like I said, but they were able to have a decent amount of success running the ball on you. And we had a lot of injuries on the defense today, which has me concerned this could be a long-term issue with this team. So I don't know. I don't know what to really expect going forward. But at halftime, I was coming away thinking to myself, the team is going to have to play better than this if they want to beat the better teams down the line. So decent game, not a great game or anything like that. We played fine. We definitely left some points out there. My God, we left some points out there because of all these drops and some of the mistakes on the offensive side of the ball. And that definitely disappointed me because, again, the numbers tomorrow are going to tell you these receivers were great, but don't drink the Kool-Aid. I'm serious, guys. Put the Kool-Aid down. These guys left a lot of stuff out there, and that element of it is worrisome because these guys are supposed to be the strength of the team. But hey, you got the big win, and I will say, I think our secondary's improved. At the very least, I can say that. Our secondary is better than it was last year when it was a mess. So that part of it's nice. I would rather have a good pass defense than a good run defense, too. So, yeah, I don't really know what else to say about all that. I don't really know what else to say about this one. It's obviously an easy win, pretty much a scheduled win. I am happy with the progression this defense made from last week. They looked better than last week. But for it to mean something, we need to see it against a real NCAA team. We're going to start seeing that next week. And, yeah, I will see you guys later. All around pretty decent day. I'm not going to go over the top with anything. This team right now is pretty much living up to expectations. But if they want to exceed expectations, you got to work on this stuff. These little things that right now are not going well. This interior offensive line, not good. This interior defensive line, I would argue, not good. There was very little pass rush today, if we're being honest. And I understand that we had some injuries on that side of the ball, but maybe that's going to be the way things go this year. All right, see you guys later. Bow down to Washington, 2-0, and feeling pretty good about where things are going.